Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Have it the part two on the Land Rover LR3 from Daniel in Arizona. If you have not seen the part one, this was not a regular or a normal repair. It did have the glitches that all these clusters present, which is, intermittent no communication, gauges intermittent. It actually have the fuel gauge completely dead. It couldn't be repaired. The actual stepper motor was bad. And I have those in stock, so not a problem. But those are, again, normal repairs. The thing that was very different from the normal, it was that it was showing error on the mileage. I contacted Daniel and he's trying to collect the mileage from the car, but I honestly cannot wait for that. I have a lot of work. So what I decided to do is bring the instrument clusters to 0 miles, which is completely legal. The reason I don't want to just put any miles unless I have a copy of the registration and so is obviously for legal uh, problems. Odometers tampering is a federal offense, and I'm definitely sticking to the law 100%. So what I can do is bring the mileage to zero because that is like also when you buy a cluster from the dealer, it comes into 0 miles. And normally BMWs, Land Rovers, when you plug it into the car, what the instrument cluster will do is gather the miles from other modules in the vehicle, so it will immediately put the greatest miles into the cluster after a couple of key cycles. That is the most normal. And if it does that, then if that doesn't happen, at least it's not that you are going to, or I'm going to put a mileage that is not the correct and is lower, and then can fool somebody else from buying a car that has the incorrect mileage, and then I can be liable for that and obviously put in jail. And I don't want that. 0 miles, anyone will know. 2007 Land Rover LR3 with 0 miles is impossible. So what that will said, the instrument cluster was replaced, and it's in 0 miles, and those are just the new miles that are being read on the cluster, right? All right, so and that's also the reason I'm doing this video to show that. All right, so let me first get you into the also this A7S3. Yes, so I'm going to remove myself from there so you can get to see everything. That is the VIN number of the car. The Daniel sent, that's actually his paperwork and his writing. So I'm going to turn this on first. So you get to see right now here, right where I'm pointing, it says 0. Before that was an error. Also, most of the gauges were working except for the fuel miles, the fuel gauge, as I said. And that is something that I want to show now that everything is working. I cleaned the cluster 100% and it's fully fixed. All right, so for that, I need to go over to the display. So we had the display capture right here. And I'm going to put this to, we already had that one, but it's kind of like in the way, right? So what I can do is move this here, right? So that will make it a lot better. And I'm going to make this window, because either way, that window is not really necessary to be that big. So we can all see everything perfect. So that's the biggest I can make that window from the SUS, Snap-on SUS. All right, so I'm using a remote login into it, so I don't have to be actually in the scanner to do this connection. But all right, so we're going to go into scanner, which I have everything powered up. The BCI is connected, and we're going to manually select, because these vehicles with just the instrument cluster, you would not be able to do an automatic read. So let's do a manual. It's a 2007 Discovery LR3, and based on the VIN number that he gave me, is a 4.4 liters V8. All right, that's all we need. This is going to populate just again in here. We have not connected to the instrument cluster, and we're going to go into instrument pack. Now the scanner is starting to, establish communication. So it's asking me to turn the ignition on, which is already on. Let's read code first, because this cluster had, the B1A0046 control module calibration parameter memory failure. And that is a code that cannot be erased. Well, cannot, let's see. So let's clear the codes. Let's hit continue, and let's now read the codes. And as you see right now, we only have two full codes. So the full code can be erased. It would not be abnormal, Daniel, that if I now disconnect the power and then later on you plug it in, the full code can be there. If that happens, I mean, you might have to code the cluster because I can correct what I can see here, but calibrations and coding has to be with the Land Rover done in the car. All right, so let's go over to ECU ID. And in here, we can definitely see that we have the correct VIN number. So right now you have in the in the bottom right corner of our screen, this space. So I'm moving my hand right there. So I'm going to just, yeah, no, you can see it. So as I'm going to read the paper and you, or maybe I read the scanner and you read the paper because they're both small, right? SALAE 25497 A427476. And that is exactly what I have here. So that is perfect. The protocols are correct. The let me see. Yeah, the hardware number it should be NNB 503760, which is correct. All right, so we can continue in here. I'm going to do a functional test, actuator test, and we're going to go over to, let's just start with the fuel, right? Because that was the one was not working. So let's continue here. This is just going to populate the change. This is very unique to Snap-on, very different than in top-down. But I can go directly into 50%, and then let's just keep an eye here on the bottom right, right? In this case, well, actually, I can try to. I think that we have enough zoom in there for you guys to see that. So just look in here, and I'm going to click OK, and then I have to click OK again. And we can immediately see how that needle now went to 50%, which is perfect. So we had that, and in here, you just got to go into exit, and I'm going to select this again. If I want to change, but we can see that that needle went down. So let's do one more time, but in a different position. I'm going to go into higher reading. Let's read 100%, right? So let's go 100% and then click OK. And we can see that needle go all the way up to the top. So that is beautiful. So that is working as it's supposed to. And we're going to do the same thing with the coolant temperature to make sure that all the needles are now working as they're supposed to. Because this is the test that I do for all the customers. So I'm going to go first 50% as we did. Again, this is the fuel gauge, which is right now peg up. And this is just because this is a thermistor. Thermistors, when they're open, they're like usually if you have a bad coolant temperature sensor open or unopened in the wire, it will go into maximum temperature. All right, so let's do that. So we're now, as you see, the temperature went into 50%. So I'm going to click exit and then start to go higher because as you see right now that needle went up all the way up. Let's go down, right? So continue, continue, and then we're going to select 5%, which is the minimum I can go. Click OK. And now that needle should go all the way down. And it did, right? So everything is good into that temperature gauge, right? So we exit and the needle went up to its normal open position. Let's do the speedometer, right? So the speedometer should be the one on the right side, right where the mileage are. And it's the same selection. So we're going to do 50%. And OK. And we can see that needle and 50% perfectly. All right. So one more time, we're going to do now 100%, right? Continue, continue. Just repeating what I can see in the screen, right? So you guys don't have to look into two different things and then click and then OK. And we have the 100% in there. All right. So that is all good in the speedometer. Let's do the tach. All right. So we're going to do the same thing, 50%. And that should be again the left side, right? Right where my finger is moving. And we can see the needle perfectly in the 4. So that is exactly right in the middle. All right. So we're going to do again one more time to full. Continue, continue. Come on. Too many clicks. And then one more time. That should be all the way to full, and I mean to maximum. And then we can see that into 8,000. So that's good. And if we exit here, the needle should reach 0 again, and it does. So, all right. So Daniel and everybody, I hope that you see the good information that I'm showing in here. That is so you can see again that it has 0 miles, no problem. So let me just go back to here. Let's read the codes one more time. Yes, you see what I said is I think that, yeah, this cluster will need to do a coding. I don't see any issues here no more. The field sender open, but yeah, the calibration, Daniel, you're going to have to do the coding on this instrument cluster in your car. Take it to a shop and do that. I don't offer that service. I can repair just the cluster itself. But yeah, this looks like this code B1A0046. It is getting um, in there all the time. Let me see. Yeah, this is what I said. The Snap-on is really worthless. Any help for technicians. It's a very expensive tool, not really much information. I always have said to Snap-on and all the representatives that it's so sad because Snap-on is one of the oldest companies, even selling the scanners. For them to be behind, and all they're trying to do right now is just to follow up, be behind any other tools like Hotel and Top Done. All they have done is in here is fight against the information that Hotel was given as technician because they want to gather that and protect it, and they have removed some of the Hotel functions because of that same thing. Not sure if Hotel was I don't know, without the license using it, and I don't think that's the case because Launch, which is the one that has paid for the license, the same thing as in Top Done. So Launch is a Chinese company based in USA, same as Top Done, same as Hotel, right? So the only one that is truly, well, kind of, because right now even Snap-on that was originally based in the United States is a company that is a multinational. So can you say that those are now a truly United States company? I will just say, the tools that are said made in US are the ones that are made in US. You open a scanner, you go in the back, even the SUS. Oh, where I have that one right here. I'm gonna just read what it says here on the back. Um, yeah, you see, it's like this is the Snap-on SUS, the greatest, the latest and greatest, and it says assemble in Taiwan. So that can tells you how much realistically these tools are now American based. And are you sure you want to close the application? No. And that's what I find because yes, they make us seem like, yeah, we're a United States based or a United States company. Well, you were. Be realistically and tell us the truth, because all they're right now they're trying to do is protect their information that they don't want to share. And then that's why we had this problem, because I mean realistically there's not much information that you can go into for these European cars. All right, but that's again another topic separate. I would like just to share because a lot of technicians are always asking me, it's like, "Am, what do you think? Should I buy a Snap-on or should I buy?" I'm like, no, 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 no. To buy a Snap-on if you want to buy it used, and it has an oscilloscope, because they do have good information for uh, guided component tests. That's the strong part of a Snap-on for new technicians, the ones that don't have still all the years and experience in testing. And there, yes, buy a used one, but don't spend, the Snap-on suits right now with the card is like almost $20,000. It's outrageous. For $20,000, just go on yourself and buy yourself an Autel Ultra, the latest one, and buy yourself a Picoscope, the latest for 425A, and now you have spent less money, because those two together, I would say probably you're going to spend, even if you buy the master kit with the Pico, with all the clamps and everything, maybe you spend $8,000, $9,000. See what I mean? And now you have more time to even renew the license after 2 years with hotel and so on. All right, so the codes are clear. Hopefully you can see that. Let me read the codes again. Okay, the fuel sender shows us open. That is okay. Let me turn the ignition off, because sometimes by having, again, the battery disconnected, that's where things like that can happen. So my dog is on the back end. I mean, hopefully, I don't know if you will be able to hear them or not. I think somebody might be in the door. All right, so let's read the codes again. Well, it didn't happen this time, right? So let me go out. This will stop the communication. So we're connected. Turn the key to stop communication. Wait 15 seconds and turn the key on. Yeah, yeah, sure. Let's go back to the instrument pack one more time. And let's read the codes. Yeah, it's right here. So you see that memory calibration. Again, it's like it says right there, calibration parameter. I am not sure what they tried to do with this cluster, or if this was just a normal or not a normal, I don't know, like an electric problem in the vehicle that caused this. Is something I have no information. So all I can do is protect myself in this case with bringing the cluster to zero. I'm going to contact Daniel and just tell him, your cluster is working 100%. Coding or calibrations, I don't offer for this type of repairs. And if you go and see all of the video that I have done for these Land Rovers, that is, I have never had to do anything like this. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.